and players mob him.
But Michael Jordan is not only the best basketball player, but he's the most exciting basketball player to ever play.
Tatum fires away, pumps it in. 51 for Jayson Tatum.
Welcome to another edition of the Big Three NBA Podcast. I'm your host, A-Shrod Blakely, and I'm joined by Duane Rankin from the Arizona Republic, who has a different look. Now, I've known this brother for many years. This may very well be the first time I have ever seen this brother without a hat. Now, Duane, before we get into talking basketball, we got to talk about the damn hat. Where's the hat, bro?
Hats.
You are a man that wears many hats, and today you have none. So what's going on?
I just got through running my 4 mile this morning. Nah, I'm not putting no hat on today. This has got to breathe.
So wait a minute. You actually exercise and don't wear the hat?
Yeah. Oh, I wore like a Scully. I wore a Scully. Yeah. When I run, I wear a Scully, but I'm letting it breathe for right now.
Yeah. Because as we started getting ready for this, and before I got hit the record button, I had to pause and think, like, wait a minute, something is different. I'm having a Keith Sweat moment. Something ain't right here. What's going on here? And I realized it was the hat. But as I mentioned, this brother wears many hats. In addition to his great coverage of the Phoenix Suns, he's doing what a lot of us are doing right now, checking out Team USA. Had that great 95-91 comeback win over Serbia to get to the gold medal game where they'll face France on Saturday. Some of the stars of that game, Steph Curry, someone I know Duane is very familiar with being out west, did his thing with 36 and 8 rebounds. You had another big game from LeBron James, Mr. Triple-Double, Olympic triple-double. Big game for him, 16, 12, and 10. Kevin Durant came off the bench, only had, I think it was like 9 points, but he had a big bucket down the stretch. And Devin Booker, who we'll talk a little bit about now, got the start, only had 6 points. But I want to start talking about Devin simply because of all the guys in his Team USA roster, he's been the one guy who has a role other than Jayson Tatum, and we'll talk about him later, who's in a role I did not expect to see. I thought Devin might be able to help them in some capacity, but as a starter, I did not see that. What do you think he's done to earn the confidence and the backing of Steve Kerr to be with that first unit?
I just think his ability to adapt. He plays off the ball. He's playing off the ball. He can be a catch and shoot guy. He gets rid of it. Like that's what's been interesting watching him play is that we're used to seeing him take 6, 7, 5, 6 dribbles to get a shot. And he's passing. If shot's not there, he gives it up. He moves without the ball. He's taking on the duty of trying to be a pressure the ball. Not like Jrue Holiday. But he's kind of like the secondary guy. Like Jrue is the main guy, and then Devin's like the secondary guy that pressures the ball. And on top of that, I think, like, again, his ability to adapt, and he's accepted it. Like he is truly accepted. I don't have to score to help the team win. And you're talking about the numbers, only 6 points, but he had a plus 16, second highest on the team for the game with Curry with a plus 20. I'm surprised Curry's number isn't higher. It just feels like it should be like plus 100. Mm-hmm. But him getting a plus 16, he's been plus throughout the whole tournament, and he just fits. He fits better than most of the guys that are playing. Even you look at Anthony Edwards, when he comes in, Edwards likes to handle the ball. He likes to dribble. Devin's like, no, I don't have it. Here, you take it. I don't have it. Here, you take it. And that works well when you're playing with LeBron, Embiid, Durant, and Curry. So I'm not surprised based on how he's playing that he is playing this much and when it matters.
Yeah, the point that you made about adapting, I think for me that is, and again, from someone on the outside looking in, that's been the biggest surprise about Devin's play. Not only his ability to adapt to, what he's looked to do on offense, but his defense. I mean, there was a time when I would watch Devin Booker play and I would intentionally think his real name should be Evan because there really is no D in that brother's game. And understandably so, because he was such a prolific scorer. You kind of understand when you could go to Boston and drop 60 of change, you are a guy that knows how to get buckets. But I've been really just pleasantly surprised by what he's done defensively. And I've had a little bit of crow for that because the defense I thought would keep him on the bench. I thought basically he would be Jayson Tatum instead of Jayson Tatum right about now because he was not known as a great defender. And he's such an elite, lethal scorer. What we're seeing from Devin defensively, I mean, can you speak to just, obviously there must have been some signs of that earlier on, but can you speak to just how he's kind of really seems like has ratcheted up his defensive game in the Olympics?
I think part of that is, well, two things. If you talk to Devin about defense, because I didn't think he had a really good year defensively this past year. I thought he kind of digressed a little bit in the season compared to where he was going when he was under Monty Williams. He was kind of going on an uptick and taking pride. Devin's whole thing on defense is about competing. When he competes on that end, he's good. He's solid. When he kind of whatever, then you see the blow-bys. You see him getting posted up. You see him giving up buckets. So I think in this instance where, when you talk to Devin about defense last year, well, part of it is communication. He's like, well, look, if we're not all on the same page, it can look bad. And so you're like, okay, we can see that. But also when you just got to guard somebody straight up, seem to have some struggles at times. And in this situation, with him not having to carry the offense, I think he has more energy on defense to do that. When you look at him with the Suns, it was him and Durant. I mean, they had guys that, that could shoot it, and Bradley was trying to figure it out. He was hurt, basically half the season. Mm-hmm. So it was mostly Devin and Kevin carrying the offense. So when you're doing that, and then now you're going, and then he was having to handle the ball and initiate offense. And now, okay, go down there and try to guard Luka. No, that's going to be a struggle. So it's going to be a struggle anyway. But he has gotten better. He's shown that he can defend in the Olympics. And he did that in 2021. He did the same thing. He came in and took on this role of being a defender. Now, can that translate to the season? We'll see. But he's capable. That's the one thing. And that's what the coach, Mike Budenholzer, is probably going to be telling them. Hey, look, I've seen it now. You're capable. We need to see more of that during the season.
Right. But the point that you made, though, and I think it's a good one, is that when you're playing defense the way he is with Team USA, there's a trade-off with that. If you're giving me great play at that end of the floor, my team, my system, the guys around you, they got to give us a little bit more at the offensive end of the floor. And I'm curious, will the Suns look at this as almost like obviously we can't put together Team USA, right. But can we put pieces in place to give him more help offensively? Because, we know what he can do as a scorer. He's a legitimate top tier elite scorer in this league. But it seems that, part of the mindset was, well, if you just surround him with better defenders, it's going to make, him a better player and the team better. But it might be just the opposite. If they had more average to maybe a tick above average scores, he could be a better defender because he wouldn't have to focus so much on the offense. Does the Olympics do anything to modify or impact the calculus that the front office is using as they kind of put this thing together?
I mean, you could say that in a sense because, they brought a point guard in. So they didn't have one. And when you see Devin playing off the ball a little bit more, he can get back to that scorer mode in that sense with Tyus Jones being added to the team. He can get back to just scoring, not having to worry about getting guys involved. Look at his years with Chris Paul. Chris was running the show, right? And Devin was able to play off of that and go score. So on that sense, yes, and we know what Durant's going to do. I mean, the guy's going to take 12, 13 shots. He's going to get you 27, 28. He's going to get to the free throw line 6, 7 times. I mean, we already know he's going to hit like 3 to 4 threes. I think the one thing that you will see is more threes, something they kind of barked at a little bit last year under Vogel. I think now they see. They saw what Boston did. They're like, okay, no, we can't just hold it back. We got to launch more threes. I think you'll see that in that sense. But you're seeing that with Team USA, with LeBron shooting threes, obviously Steph shooting threes. Most of their team, they come in there, all of them. Like, I mean, you can go through the list, Holiday, Derek White, all of them are jacking threes. Mm-hmm. So I think you could see that transformation with Grayson Allen shooting more threes. Bradley Beal shot 43% from three last year.
Right.
He's probably going to be shooting more threes. So I can see some of that carrying over in terms of what they do. But they didn't really do much to the roster in terms of adding offense. They added role players. Tyus Jones going to be a role player, play point guard. Monte Morris, backup point guard. Mason Plumlee, backup big man. They feel like offensively they have guys that could put it in the hole. You might see Nurkic step out more and shoot threes the way Embiid shoots threes. You might see that. I think you have to see that to keep teams honest, like a Brook Lopez, like Al Horford, just guys just jacking it up, because that's where we are. And you can be this team that says, oh, we need balance. No, well, okay, you can do that. Go ahead. But the Celtics showed this past season, you better be shooting threes and you better be hitting threes at a high clip. If you're not, you're going to lose the numbers game. And that's where I think you see some of that will translate over to the Suns this season.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are really looking at the Celtics, obviously, as a blueprint for what you need to do to win a championship. Of course, they don't want to be the Celtics when it comes to paying those checks. I mean, it was like Oprah Winfrey back in the day. You get a check, you get a check, you get a check. Sam Hauser, you get a check. I felt like I need to get in line and be like, hey, what about me? I get a check with this too?
Right.
But when you talk about checks and folks cashing checks, there's no one who has been, I think, in our generation, certainly worth every penny they get than Kevin Durant. I mean, my goodness. Just a phenomenal player, first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't think there's any question about that is going to happen. But, his start to the Olympics has not been great, and not in terms of what he's doing statistically, but just physically being healthy enough to start. He had that calf strain that he was dealing with. It prompted some to think that should he even be playing if he's dealing with that. I'm curious about, just around Suns brass, how comfortable were they with KD playing on this Olympic team? No, I mean, obviously you love him representing his country and all that great stuff, but this is a business. And there's a lot of chips invested in that particular man. And to just kind of see him kind of navigate through some of those bumps and bruises, have a legitimate injury that, you got to be smart and careful about how you bring him back. How concerned were they about just Kevin Durant not playing forget about Team USA for a minute, being ready to do the job that you are literally paid millions and millions to do? How concerned were they with Kevin and just his health?
Well, just even going before that, the whole relationship deal, okay, was he happy? The reports out there, okay, the Suns want out, and then Ishbia coming back saying, we love Kevin. Kevin loves. So you got to start with that right out the gate. Like, okay, the relationship is it good? And any person you talk with for the Suns, oh, it's fine. We love Kevin. Kevin loves us. I mean, you hear it. It was like on repeat over and over and over, whether you were just talking with them just off the cuff or just, on record. So you have that on the first end. Mm-hmm. So then beyond that, there was concern in the sense of monitoring. Okay, look, where is he with this? Is it as serious as we think? Because they're looking at it and going, all right, well, Durant knows his body. Durant understands who he is. But as you said, they're like, we got a season here to get ready for. And the window is small. Like, it's not like they got another 5 years. Like, this is 1 to 2 years, if you really want to get honest, in terms of them trying to win a championship or compete for one seriously. So you can't afford to lose. You look at last season, he had one of his best seasons. He played like 70 some odd games. It was, technically not a waste for him personally, but a waste that they didn't do anything with that in the postseason. So you can't afford, with him turning 36 in September, to be just, well, all right, well, we can go ahead and get to the playoffs again and lose in the first round. We got Kevin. No, because as great as he is, at some point, he's not going to be able to do that unless he has the same makeup as LeBron James and can just play till he's like 100. And I'm not saying Kevin couldn't play until he's in his 40s. I believe he probably can. if he chooses to do that. But you're getting still prime Kevin Durant numbers now. They cannot afford to have another lost season like they had this past season. So, yeah, they were definitely concerned about, is he going to be all right? Is he going to be healthy? Is he, but they all were all saying, hey, represent your country. And like you said, that's the whole speech of you only get this chance and there's history on the line. Okay, it's fourth one, but the Suns are going to have to be thinking, all right, what if he wins a fourth gold medal and he gets hurt? Okay, yeah, he made history, but now we got to monitor this guy up into training camp, and you have another Bradley Beal situation where he ain't ready to start the season. No. They're spending. You're talking about spending money. They're gonna be 400 million this year. So they can't afford
the largest. Yeah, that's like the largest ever, right? I think
ever. Yeah. You can't afford to spend that kind of money with your best player being injured, playing in something that technically speaking, he didn't have to. So yeah, they were definitely concerned, but it looks like Kevin is okay and is playing well, and they got one more. The hope is for the Sun. Get through this last one, get your gold medal, stay on the podium, get back home and rest.
This is A. Sharp Blakely of the Big Three NBA Podcast. And for those of you who want to get your daily fantasy sports fix on, there is no better place than Prize Picks. It's America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. Now, you can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. That's right. You can turn $10 into $1,000. So get in on the excitement and win up to 100 times your cash with the summer games on Prize Picks. With Prize Picks, you can turn $10 again into $1,000, which while watching Team USA rack up the gold medals this summer, you can make Prize Picks lineup of players across basketball, soccer, tennis, golf, and more in as little as 60 seconds. That's really, really quick. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stats, projections, and you're locked in. So have some fun, and the thing about Prize Picks, they keep it simple. The experience of playing, really good athletes that you frankly love, and Prize Picks, not only do you get to support them, but you also can make a little cash in the process. So again, download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy. That's the thing that I talked with someone with Team USA on that staff, and that was a point that they made. That look, I know fans of the players on the team are worried that their guys aren't going to be healthy enough for a start of camp. But think about this: they're going to have more than a month to get their bodies right. So if your body can't get right in a month of no basketball after playing basketball, you got more issues than whatever you did over here in Paris. You got some other stuff going on. But the thing about Kevin Durant, and it's a really good point you bring up about how, with Kevin, I wonder a lot about just the motivation at this point. If you don't put the right type of players around, because he has already won a championship. He's already won a league MVP. He's a perennial all-star. There's literally nothing in the game from an individual standpoint that he has left to accomplish. There's literally nothing from a team standpoint that he has not accomplished. So where's the motivation if Phoenix doesn't put a championship caliber team around him? Because Kevin loves basketball. We know that. We get that. Right. But you don't want to be playing for a squad that's not nice. You don't want to be playing for a squad that's just basically playing 82 games plus maybe another 4 or 5 after that. You want to be playing for a championship. So I'm just curious, how concerned, if at all, are you with just them putting the kind of team around to keep this man motivated? Because you're right, Duane. He was balling out last year. Absolutely balling out. Maybe one of the best 35-year-old seasons we've seen from a guy at that age. But in the grand scheme of things, you look at the end of the season,
Yeah.
He was doing the same thing that you and I were doing, watching games we played, flipping the channel, go get you a snack and come back in the game as well. That's not what Kevin Durant, he does not want to be snacking come playoff time. He wants to be out there balling. How concerned are they about putting the kind of team that's going to keep him motivated, keep him engaged when he's out there?
Well, I mean, part of that, you look at the coaching change. That's the first thing. Okay, they felt like they had to make a move with Vogel and bringing in Budenholzer. So that's one. Two, they knew they needed to get a facilitator, so they brought in Tyus Jones. He doesn't turn the ball over, highest assist turnover ratio in history. Has led the league in that number for multiple years in a row. I think it's like 6 in a row. So they addressed two areas that impact Kevin. Okay, someone that can go give me the ball and someone that can have an offense that he feels more comfortable in. So that's the first thing. He's playing with Devin, so that's obviously a tandem that he can, that he likes, and they get along well and play well together. So that's three important things. But I go back to last year. They're in the playoffs. Durant goes, well, I can tell them what to do. I can go back and say we were down 0-2 in the series when I played before, and one came back and won the series. I can do all that, but it's about guys doing their job. And that's where he's at. He's like, okay, I'm going to do mine. I'm going to do what I'm being asked to do. You guys got to do yours. And that ultimately is what it comes down to when you look at him play. That's why Team USA is such a fun thing for him, because he's like, you know what? I can just go out and I can just play, and I know I don't have to worry about that. LeBron's got that handle. I don't have to worry about that. That guy got that handle. I don't have to go worry. I don't got to shoot a bunch of threes. Steph's got that handle. I don't have to do this. This guy's got that handle. So guys have roles, and they're playing their roles so well. He didn't have to do. All you got to do is go out there and play and just figure it out. Nobody figures it out better than Kevin Durant. So on a team, though, that doesn't have that kind of talent, then guys have got to play at a certain level for him to feel like, okay, we got a chance. He's going to go out and play. He loves the grind of it. He loves the day-to-day work. Like you said, dude just loves to play. He just loves the ball. It's just all there is to it. Like, he's going to be a guy that's going to be probably 60-something at the Y or something like that.
Giving guys buckets.
Yeah, giving guys
buckets. Who's the old man out here balling?
He's going to be all grayed out and everything, probably shaving his head by that point. He's going to be out there just giving them buckets, wearing a beanie or whatever. He's going to be out there giving them buckets. So he's going to be able to do that for the rest of his life. The issue is getting the type of players around him that makes him feel like, okay, we actually have a chance to win a championship. Do they have that in Phoenix? No. Not compared to what they're going to have to be dealing with in the West, but are they closer? I think I think for him it would be good. Okay, we're closer than we were last year. Maybe we get into a situation where we're in the second round and we can get past the first round and we're playing a certain team and we can get past. So now he's probably thinking, okay, this team maybe has a better chance to go further in the playoffs. And if you get in the playoff setting and it's a game 7. You have Kevin Durant on your team, you probably like your chances. So I think he may be seeing it from that perspective in terms of the overall team aspect. But they made some moves to get them at least to look better on paper. Is that going to translate to them getting further along in the playoffs and actually getting to a finals to play, say, Boston? I don't see that with this team, but season hasn't started yet either, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, one of the things I wanted to talk about before we kind of looked ahead was just kind of look sort of not back, but look in the moment, and specifically the big three that they have, and they didn't get a lot of burn together, as you know better than anyone.
41 games.
How many?
41.
Oh goodness.
41 together, and Bradley got hurt in one of those games. Like
I was going to say, yeah.
The first 2 minutes, he was out there, and then he got hurt. Like he hurt his ankle or something. So technically, 41 games they played together.
That
in the regular season.
When you already have a roster that because of just the financial commitments you've made to those big three, you don't have a lot of really top tier depth beyond those three.
Right.
To only get half a season. when you look at the Suns team and you look at their quest to kind of move up in the West and contend with a team like the Celtics, does it really just come down to just keeping those three healthy?
Certainly would help. I think Bradley, he was so. You gotta you know this better than anybody. Like the guy was at one city his whole career, and he was in a situation where they were losing at the end. You know what I mean? So it was like he kind of probably like, well, all right. And then he had to gear it up more than he probably has before.
Right.
Where look, now he's like I'm out here with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Okay, I have to be better. And I think he pressed, and then he was hurt, and he pressed to get back, and he got hurt again. So he never really found any kind of flow or rhythm with the group at all. And then he kind of went like, you know what? Okay, I'll handle the ball. All right, we can see Devin. He ain't really feeling this. I'll take over this. Okay, lead defender. You know what? I'll take on this responsibility. So Brad went from, okay, he's hurt. He comes back, and now you ask him to guard the top perimeter player on the other end and go handle the ball and try to find people when that has not been his game. Maybe ever. I mean, he just was not in it as far as feeling the flow and the rhythm on a day-to-day basis or a game-to-game basis. So I think that he now understands, okay, this is what's required of him. And I think, again, the Tyus Jones move will help him be able to play off of it. I've written, Gerard, you might think I'm crazy. I've written that maybe he should come off the bench.
Ooh, hot take.
I know that's $251 million contract coming off the bench. Makes absolutely no sense at all. Can they win with a 3-guard lineup? Yeah, I guess they can with Devin, Tyus, and Bradley out there. But let's just say they're playing the Celtics. Now you're asking Devin Booker to guard Jaylen Brown.
Ooh, Jaylen likes that.
So you're asking Devin, who has been a natural 2 his whole career, to now be a 3 and have to guard some of these bigger perimeter players. It just because Tyus is coming to start. That basically, if you just talk with people, that's been the agreement. Okay, you're taking this money. We only can pay you the minimum. You're taking this $3 million. So you can have this great year, so you can maybe get a bigger deal later on down the line. You're not going to get that coming off the bench. You're going to get that starting. So he's coming to start. So if he's coming to start, somebody got to go to the bench. Can it be Grayson Allen? Sure, it can be Grayson Allen. He can come off the bench. Yeah, you can have your 3-guard. But could Bradley Beal come off the bench and be a Jamal Crawford type, Lou Williams type? Could he do that? Does he want to do that? Is this what this team needs? Yeah. So if he maybe can do that, he might get the same amount of minutes coming off the bench and being the main option with, say, Tyus in the backcourt where he can go get yours. And then at the end of a game, he could close the game. They could close with those 3 guys, right, and Durant and Nurkic, and be okay. They could close with that lineup. He could get maybe the same minutes he would get as a starter coming off the bench. Now, does he want to do that? Can Budenholzer convince him to do that? Or are they going to go, you know what, as their CEO told me, hey, we like this 3-headed monster with Devin, Tyus, and Brad, thinking, okay, that could be their starting 3 along with Durant and Nurkic, but then they seem small to me in that role. So they could getting more burn together would help the big 3. Yeah. But how they get the burn is where I think could lead to them having a better season. How does that work? Is it starting together, finishing together, or is it Bradley Beal coming off the bench?
Wow. Here's the thing about that, and I think you pointed out how something like that would go down. It would have to be something Bradley wants to do, because they're first of all, the money comes with
Right.
a bit of power. I mean, if
Right.
you're not going to say, Bradley, you're coming off the bench. If the conversation, Bradley, we're thinking about having you come off the bench. What do you think? That's probably how that's going to go.
Right.
And I don't know if Bradley's at a point where he is comfortable adjusting to a role like that. I was talking with a veteran player a couple of weeks ago, and we're just talking about just guys in different cities and just trying to figure out how to get it going. And he made a really, really good point that I've been thinking a lot about. When you're a veteran player and you're in a losing situation, there's a stench that goes with you when you leave that isn't that easy to shake. Right. No matter what your intentions are, no matter how good you may be for, within the locker room, when you've been in a losing culture and a losing environment for a number of years, even if there's a certain toxicness that you are exposed to, that even when you go to a winning situation, they got to scrub that off you. You got to scrub that off you. And if you don't recognize that it exists and it needs to be scrubbed, you're going to find yourself not all that far removed from the situation you came away from. I wonder, is some of that going on?
It's summertime and there's no better way to spend it than at the ballpark. Popcorn, soda, hot dogs. I'm starting to get hungry just thinking about it. Those games create lasting memories, and getting to those games is a lot easier with Game Time, which is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Now, being a Yankees fan that I am, living here in Boston, I know it gets complicated and very uncomfortable from time to time, but keeping an eye on the AL East is a really big deal for me, as you can imagine. I know I can go to the Game Time app and jump on the best deals quickly. The color coding options at the ballpark make it super easy to see what are the best deals for the best seats from all the seats in that particular venue. And you can customize your search options based on your favorite team or your favorite team to watch. The Game Time app makes it super easy to get into the game, and you can't beat Game Time's lowest price guaranteed. And when you're ready to lock up your tickets, Game Time has all-in pricing, so there's no surprise fees at checkout. Hate when that happens. Take the guesswork out of buying Major League Baseball tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed.
And I also wonder, to your question, how committed is Bradley Beal to winning versus winning on his terms? Because, and you've seen this before, guys talk about, I just want to win. I just want to win. Oh, by the way, I want to win and play 35 minutes a game and average 20 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Oh, yeah, and winning too. And coaches may be like, I only really need you for like 12 and 6 for like 25 minutes. How is this going to work? Well, players, I need my 30 minutes. Right. But what about winning? Winning, I want to do that too. And I just wonder if Bradley, is he at a point where he's willing to do whatever is asked of him to win? Because with Budenholzer, you've got a coach who I think understands how to move the chess pieces where they need to be in order to be successful. You look at that Milwaukee team that won the championship. Giannis, great player. Drew Holiday was really good as well, but they had a lot of pretty average cats in that squad who were just basically playing the role that they were asked to play, and they didn't grumble, they didn't gripe, they handled their business. I don't know if Bradley's at that point where he just wants to win and is willing to do whatever it takes to win. I don't know.
Well, I think, like for example, he shot 43% from three. Mm-hmm. Is he cool with being a catch and shoot guy? Because at this point, you've got now with Tyus on the team, you've got now basically him, Devin, and Kevin that are going to be probably the three main ball handlers. If you're just looking at if you want Tyus Jones to be this point guard that you want him to be, okay, like handling the ball, setting guys up, if that's what you want, because that's why you brought him in. You didn't bring him in to be just a spot up shooter. You brought him in to run this offense because you've seen it where you could have three great offensive players and the offense in the fourth quarter just goes to whatever. just like a meltdown. You're like, come on, like y'all can't get a shot off. Y'all can't score. What is going on? So Tyus is going to handle the ball. Devin's going to handle it. Kevin's going to handle it. Do you need 4 guys trying to get buckets off? Get buckets off the bounce and handling the ball? Can Bradley Beal be the spot up shooter? If you're shooting 43%, you're going to get open shots playing with those 2 guys. I mean, your job could be easy on offense. Yeah. But you ain't got to do all this. We know you can do that, Bradley. You've shown that in your career that you can get guys off the dribble and score. But would he be comfortable being a catch and shoot guy? Again, you being in Boston, I always bring it up every time someone talks about, he couldn't be a catch and shoot guy. The first reference I make is Ray Allen. I said, y'all didn't see Seattle Ray Allen. You didn't see Milwaukee Ray Allen. That guy was beating you off the bounce and punching it on your head.
Yes.
He went from that to saying, you know what? I'm going to catch and shoot. Always been a great shooter. He just, in Boston, he filled that role. They won a chip and played for another final. He goes to Miami. He does the same role. He wins chips. He's going to be a Hall of Famer for the back end of that career, not necessarily the front end, because he became, up until Steph Curry, that three-point guy with Reggie Miller. That was the debate. Then Steph came and said, you know what, there is no more debate. I'm the best ever to do this. So can Bradley Beal be a catch-and-shoot three-point guy on offense? Can he do that? If he can, if that's what's being asked of him, and he does that well, he shoots. You get Bradley Beal being catch-and-shoot, shooting 43% again?
Right. It's so simple, man. It's so simple, Duane, which is why it ain't gonna happen, because it's too damn simple. It makes too much damn sense that a little bit less of what you're capable of can do a lot more for your team and just winning games. But again, is it coming on your terms? Are you still at that point where you have to negotiate with me in order for me to buy into this? I wanted us to close out and actually, this is the perfect segue into that because again, we're talking about what has to happen in order for the Suns to win, to be one of the top tier teams out west and compete for a championship against a team like the Celtics. Based on what you've seen from the team in the offseason and some of the guys that got coming back and some of the changes, how do you see the Suns stacking up out west? And along those lines, how does that translate to potentially competing for a championship with the Celtics? Because even though, people may not list the Suns as, one of the favorites to come out of the West.
Right.
I remember a year ago this time, there was a team by the name of the Oklahoma City Thunder who people were not exactly feeling were going to be all that nice. And next thing you know, they finished with the damn best record out west. Right. And then you had Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberpups thinking like, oh, look, they're so cute and cuddly. They might make it to the playoffs this year. They gave folks they had a great season and gave folks, they raised the blood pressure of a lot of teams by the way they were balling out. What does Phoenix have to do in order to be the 2025 surprise of the NBA and make a deep playoff run and have a great season?
I think offensively they should be good. It's going to come down on the defensive end. If you look at the West, top 4 teams, we're looking at OKC, Dallas, Denver, and Minnesota. Okay. Can you guard Luka and Kyrie? Ooh. Can you do that? Do they have guys that can, they got a Royce O'Neal. They got, okay.
Okay.
No, Royce is solid. He
no disrespect to Royce, but
Royce is solid. But Devin be last year. Their best defender was Kevin Durant.
I believe that.
That can't happen again. He cannot be their best defender again. Like that just can't happen. Like 36-year-old guy that's having to do what he got to do on offense cannot be the best defender on the other. I'm sorry.
You got problems if that's happening. You're right.
Right. Somebody else has got to take that role and be the best defender on the team. So that's the first, and be better than Kevin on that end in terms of can handling guys. Luka's going to get his. Kyrie's going to get his. I'm talking about situational. All right, you're up 1. They get the ball to Luka. Okay, we need to stop right here. They need more situational stops, repeated stops. Boston is able to shoot a bunch of threes because they defend. Okay, they can have 2 or 3 wasted. They can have, Jaylen Brown or taking one of them wild ones. Like, whoa, what's that? They go down, they get a stop, they come down and move it. Okay, that one's open. Oh, that's going in. So, they can afford some couple of bad ones because they get stops. So that's the one thing, getting stops. Anthony Edwards, the guy's a problem. I'm sorry, he's just a problem. So they had no answer for him last year, and the T-Wolves are just a bad matchup. Jaden McDaniels, not afraid of guarding guys. Okay, Devin, I'll take you on. KD, I'll take you on. He wants this. You know what I mean? Like
he wants that smoke. Yeah,
he wants to smoke. Like the dude is angry when dudes score on him. Like he's just like. So you have that problem with Minnesota. OKC, Shea kills him. Literally, he draws fouls. That's what he does. He kills the Suns. So you have the young team that's just like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So you have that going. And then Denver, I actually think they match up well with Denver with Nurkic. Nurkic gets up to play Jokic.
He does.
He finds it. Like he finds whatever was left in Portland. He finds it.
He's still salty about that. I know low key. He's still salty about how that went down.
He's definitely still salty. So he finds it in that matchup. I think they match up with Denver better than the other 3 teams. So that's why I say if they get the matchup, say in the postseason, okay, they can maybe push past, say, a Denver and end up in a Western Conference final situation against, say, a Minnesota, OKC, someone like that, or a Dallas. So it's possible for them to get there, but it's got to be on the defensive end. I know Budenholzer's an offensive guy, but it's got to be on the defensive end that they actually get, like I said, situational stops, timely stops, 2 or 3 stops in a row in certain situations of the game. Because in this league now, you're going to give up 110, 120. That's just going to happen. You're not going to be able to keep a team from putting up numbers. But can you get stops? And so I think it starts and ends there. If they were to get into a finals with Boston, I still don't like that. I still don't like the matchup because you got Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. You're asking Durant and Booker to match up with that? These guys are young guns. You know what I mean? These dudes. Jaylen Brown, he just keep adding chips to his chips on the shoulder. Every time he sees something, adding another layer. So he's gonna come back hungry. Jayson Tatum, same thing. And they got 2 role guys in Holiday and Derek White that just are hell bent on being dogs and playing their role. They don't care about all this other stuff. They're just all about playing their role. And I haven't even said Porzingis. If they get a healthy Porzingis in the postseason, look, man, that's just not a good matchup for the Suns. I'm sorry. Now, if Boston don't make it and they hit maybe Philly or someone like that, okay, yeah, we might see something. But if it's Boston, I'm sorry, man. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Unless I see something, check back with me mid-season. But as of today, nah, not happening against Boston. But they do have things that they can do in the West because it's going to be, the West could be a situation where you have, like they had this past season, 5 or 6 teams only divided by, say, 7, 8 games. Yeah. They could have that. Mm-hmm. And something tells me, and you talk about carryover, something just tells, I could be totally wrong, and people here aren't going to like this here in Phoenix. But that LeBron James, man, does he have one more season in him to get them in that position to win a chip? Does he have it in him? Can they put a team together that he can do that? Is JJ Redick the guy that could this be it? You don't want to be on the wrong side of history, man.
No, you want to at this point of the game, you want to avoid dealing with LeBron in every instance possible. Because I mean, he's just had that kind of career where if the Lakers somehow manage to get to the NBA Finals, I don't think people will be devastatingly shocked by that, because it likely means LeBron took his game to another level or was able to maintain an elite level, and Anthony Davis decided to have back-to-back seasons where he showed up most of the time, which is crazy. This was one of the better seasons he'd had in terms of playing games and being available, but putting back-to-back seasons like that together, come on now, AD, that is what we call uncharted territory when he does that. And so the Lakers, I think they are going to be a wild card, because you just don't know how much petrol LeBron still has in the tank, and you don't know if AD can be great for back-to-back seasons. Because if those two things happen, I don't want to see them if I'm in the West. Look, to me, I don't want to be that number 1 or 2 seed to see them in that 7th spot or that 6th spot if I'm at number 3. No, you don't, because to me, that's where you see the smoke. And you ain't got to see the flames. You know there's fire where that smoke is coming from. That's where you don't got to get burned in order to know that you can get burned if you get too close. I don't want that. And even for the Celtics, I mean, if you get to the finals and you got to see LeBron and the Lakers, I don't think you want that. You know you're better than them, but you also know that things get real weird when LeBron is on the floor. All of a sudden, them layups that you was making, they're rimming in and out. Right. That shot, that dunk attempt that AD has, that you get like 60% of the ball, it hits the front of the rim, takes a high bounce, and goes in. You're thinking like, what can I do? So, yeah, they're definitely a team that I would be on guard about. But look, to me, for Phoenix, when you have 3 guys as incredibly explosive as Bill, as Booker, as Durant are, you're going to make every team you face a little nervous, because your fear is that if 2 or 3 of them get into a rhythm and the defense is relatively solid, don't got to be great, but just solid. Right. They can win 45, 50 games easy and be in anywhere from that 3, 4, 5, 6 spot. But they're going to need some things to go their way that they have no control over. You're gonna need the Tyus Jones to have maybe the best season Tyus Jones has ever had in his life. Ever had. I mean, if he comes out and he's averaging like 9, 10, 11 assists a game, that means they're probably winning a lot of games. That means Devin and Bradley and KD are probably getting lots of great looks. And Mr. I, Royce O'Neal, he might be better than I. He might be 12, 13, 14, 15 points I, because he's getting great looks and he's playing off those other guys. So there are scenarios where I could see the Phoenix Suns, make a little bit of noise. But look, you got things got to go your way that you have no control over. The Celtics had no idea that Derek White was going to be this nice. I mean, my man went from being, I can't even get a Division I scholarship offer coming out of college or coming out of high school, to I'm playing with the Olympic team. I'm playing ahead of Jayson Tatum.
How is that going over, honestly?
Listen. I've had to have this conversation every week, and I'm going to spare you my monologue and just give you the Cliff Notes version. Basically, I think it's disrespectful in every sense of the word. A player of that magnitude is not in your top 10. Rotate. But I do think that there's some other guys that have really played well, but I just don't think Tatum has had really much of a shot. The one thing that has hurt Tatum, I think, is the fact that when he does get on the floor, it feels like he's pressing the score, that he's looking to put his imprint on the game offensively. And he's still doing those other things that Steve Kerr wants, like hustle and defense and all that. But Tatum knows the same thing we all know. I get buckets. That's what I do. Damn near every single metric that the Celtics use as an organization, as far as, scoring marks and things like that, Tatum's like the youngest to do that. The youngest to score these many points, the youngest to achieve this. And he's positioned himself to be arguably the greatest player in this franchise history if he plays another 10 years, which is very possible. Right. And a guy that good can't even get in your 10-man rotation. You put him at the kiddie table with my man in Indiana.
Tyrese.
You put him in with Halliburton. I mean, come on.
Kiddie table.
He should not be.
Cups.
He should not. Exactly. Tatum is better than the kiddie table. All right?
Yes, he is.
And it low key triggers me when I think about it because I'm thinking like, wait a freaking minute. Yeah. Why is my man at the kiddie table when you got freaking Derek White and Drew Holiday and Anthony Edwards, cats that he has either bust in practice or led to wins or bust when they played against him. And you said, look, we know you're nice, but here, take this cup and go sit over there with Tyrese, and we'll get to you when we get to you. Wow. It's just and the first team All NBA last 3 years. Yeah. Wait, but I can't get no burn. I mean, this is what I've been telling people, and you're going to be another one. Tatum is going to be deeply in the MVP conversation because he has, whether it's a written out list or whether it's just a mental list of folks and teams and organizations that he is going to fillet this season. When they play Golden State, I would not be surprised if Tatum drops 30 in the first half. Would not be surprised. His best scoring games are probably going to come against Golden State. They're probably going to come against Phoenix. Y'all might get one because he's looking at Devin Booker thinking like, damn.
He playing over me.
He getting minutes over me. Minnesota, y'all going to get some of that.
Yes.
He don't really care about Philly because Philly, they don't need him to Embiid is who he is. I mean, Embiid hasn't really played that well. He had a good game against Serbia, but overall, he's been pretty meh so far.
Right.
So
pedestrian, yeah.
So Tatum is going to fillet a few teams this year. And he's going to be in that MVP conversation because he's looking at them saying, get my ass from this kiddie table. I deserve better than the kiddie table at this Team USA squad. Come on now. And I'm with him. I'm with him. His mama with him. He should be getting more burn. Hell, any burn at this point will be fine.
Right. I was watching and I was like, it was probably mid-third quarter, and I said, he's not gonna play. Nope. Because the game is at a point where you
just can't throw him out there.
Yeah. Now you're gonna throw him out there now? Like he's not gonna play. And it's like
don't feel right.
Yeah, it just feels like, and I think you're right. When he comes in, he's looking to try to score right out the gate, and it'd be nice if and I get Steve what he's trying to do, but man, you can't tell me you can't figure out a way to get him in the game at some point in this first half, and see where, and then just see, okay, is he in a flow? Does he get in the rhythm? Because because he was mixing up the rotation yesterday. Like he was like, okay, well, now that ain't working. You out. That ain't working. You out. You in. So I was like, okay, the way he's going, Tatum will probably get in. And then I'm like watching. I'm like, ooh, like he's not going to play. So does he play Saturday? You think?
No. At this point, if I'm Jayson Tatum, it's like, you know what? If I play, I play. If I don't, I don't. You already gonna be on my list once the season starts. You're getting that 30 at first. You're getting that 30 buckets in the first half, regardless. At this point, you got my family, my friends, and fans across the globe watch
basketball.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing the same thing we doing, except he got better seats.
Right. They're watching him watch basketball.
Exactly. He deserves better than being at the kiddie table on Team USA. He deserves better.
The kiddie table.
I'm as you can see, I am like low key triggered by this. I am unhinged by this. And here's the thing about Tatum. I've been a bigger Jaylen Brown fan than Tatum, because Tatum's a great player, but Jaylen Brown got that dog in him. And I love it.
I'm more like you. I'm in the dog mode than the skill mode, but go ahead.
But I am absolutely bothered. Like, I haven't been bothered about much to see Tatum getting these DNP CDs on the grandest stage of them all. So I could do this all day, Duane, and get triggered all day. Blood pressure. I can already tell the blood pressure rise a little bit. So I'm gonna slow down. Get me a little swig of water and take me a nice little afternoon nap and just think about, please let my man JT get some burn. And let him come to the big boys table and lead a kiddie table alone. Let Tyrese. Tyrese is Tyrese clearly belongs at that table because he's the one with the least. Look, you know how when the club is like near capacity and they say, okay, we only let one more in the club, we got one more. Tyrese is that one more. he's in the team, he's in the club. You get to get his swerve on, but you're not really. No one's checking for you.
You ain't
right
there
now.
yet. Your time is coming. It's not right now.
And it's going to come. And he'll be a bigger deal in the 28 Olympics in LA. He's going to be a much more significant piece. But right now, just enjoy yourself. Be happy you're in the club and enjoy your time at the kiddie table.
Right.
And Jayson is just like, what? So I got to be like the babysitter at the kiddie table? Is that how this works?
Right.
I mean, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm a 3-time first-team All-NBA player. And you got me at the kiddie table with a young fella? Come on now. Anyway, we're going to end it on that note because we could be going on this all day long, and I don't want to do that. So, before we get out of here, just want to thank Duane Rankin, the Arizona Republic. Great content. Check out his work in the Arizona Republic. He keeps up all the ins and outs of the Phoenix Suns, who we will be seeing at least twice this year. And maybe more. Maybe we see each other in the playoffs, and you just never know. Stranger things have happened.
You're right.
Stranger things have happened. So
I just don't see it happening. But you're right.
Your words, not mine.
Definitely my words. I'm double downing on it.
Right. I got the same vibe. I got the same feelings, but them was your words. But again, Duane Rankin, this is H. Rob Blakely. This is the Big 3 NBA podcast. We are out.